Today we're going to talk about lawn renovation. See the lawn that I'm kneeling in, you can see it looks like it's in pretty good shape. But the reality of it is it's spring, and it's going to look pretty good in the spring. We've had some good rains and that sort of thing to make the lawn look really good. But later in the year, because these are older varieties that tend to get some of the summer diseases that the newer varieties are not susceptible to, this lawn will kind of go south, and it needs to be renovated, which is simply using the existing turf as a base or a foundation, and then adding turf and seed over the top of the improved varieties of grasses to improve the stand and ultimately make the turf more resilient against diseases and other pests and other stresses. First and foremost, most lawns that are older, especially the older varieties, may have had some encroachment of things like turf-type tall fescue into bluegrass or some ground ivy or other weeds that are extremely difficult to control. First thing you want to do is to take a little Roundup or something like that, since you're going to renovate the entire yard anyway, and spray those spots out to make sure you get good control. You'll want to do this 2 to 3 weeks before to allow ample time for the herbicide to work, and also possibly do a reapplication in case you didn't get good kill in the initial application. After that, what you're going to do is over time, stepwise drop the mowing height down so that you can open the turf up more to receive the seed that you're ultimately going to place on it. Some people will normally just take it down immediately and scalp it down. That can be a little bit severe, and it will rough up the existing turf considerably. Or, like we did in this one, we started at the optimal mowing height and dropped it down to around an inch, inch and a half. You can see the lawn is fairly scalped in some areas, and this is where we've done that particular operation. The next step is going to be to mark the sprinkler heads for the critical aerification practice. We'll run the sprinkler system for a short amount of time, put flags in each of the locations so that when we aerify this, the open holes and stuff, the aerifier will not damage the existing sprinkler system. What we recommend is aerification, but we don't recommend simply going over the lawn once. We recommend triple aerification. Research has shown that a single aerification isn't as effective as a 3-time aerification, but 3 times over the lawn is as effective as going over it 4 times. It puts a hole roughly every about inch, inch and a half to receive that seed, which is critical because the seed will fall down into that hole, and since you do have an existing lawn that's going to continue to grow, it'll protect that seedling as it emerges from the soil. The seed will get in contact along the edges of that hole, and you'll have a really good opportunity for establishment. After or before you place the seed, you want to put down a fertility application. We recommend a starter fertilizer. If it's a spring application of seed, you want to use a starter fertilizer with a crabgrass preventer like Sidgeron or Tupersan. If it's a fall seeding, this herbicide is not necessary. Let's identify the steps necessary for successful renovation of an existing turf. First, identify any unwanted species and spray with a non-selective herbicide. Second, mow down as short as physically possible to open up the turf for reception of the seed. Before or after applying the seed, consider application of a starter fertilizer. In the spring, make sure the starter fertilizer has a crabgrass preventer such as Sidgeron or Tupersan in the mix. In the fall, this is not necessary. After that, apply the seed, and then after that, apply irrigation to make sure you have successful establishment.